That's what makes it great.
How much you charge for that? Well, they send you the sneakers and I charge them 400. I stay busy with everything.
So we got to work together to make it great. So I got to listen. It's go time. I hope it's go time for you too. Membership or something to get in there?
Yeah, you have to.
Welcome. Come on in, everybody. Grandest to you, bro. How are you?
Man, hanging in there on this New Year's Eve, making it do
Yes,
what it do.
Yes, it is. It's a grand old new year. I have to I'm gonna go live on TikTok as well. So how you feeling? Thank you for joining me today.
I'm feeling real good. Staying focused. You know what I'm saying, and getting ready for this new year.
Enjoying your time off while you have it.
Oh yeah. You catching up on some things a little bit. Yeah.
Year recap. Well, we are doing a end of the year recap because so much has happened this year, and I was like, we went live the other day with Talia. Thank you again, Talia, for joining us that day. And yes. I was like, I think you and I should do an end of the year recap as well, because man, this has been a crazy year. And I can remember on the morning show podcast, us talking about Cat Williams and him opening up the doggone floodgates. It seemed like, hey, baby. The floodgates, it seems like. And now it's like, man, is the door ever going to close?
Right, that part. And it's not. It's going. I hate to say it. It's going. More doors going to be swinging open. More things is going to happen. I think that Hollywood's getting exposed in all different angles and all different from the mainstream to the underground. It's like when you in podcast radio like us, we go down the rabbit. This is a habit to go down the rabbit hole of a lot of things when we checking out other podcasts and radio shows, and you know what I mean. And we support and we love the conversation. We join in those conversations as much as we can, and I've noticed that all levels is exposing the industry from the mainstream to the underground. So it's like there's nobody. Everybody is getting smoked right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be open for a while. It's because this is gonna be one of them things that's gonna go probably for another 10 years probably, and it's gonna change the game of the music industry. It's gonna change the game how you do business with others. It's gonna change. It's gonna change a lot of things for a lot of these record labels. That's why a lot of these artists is selling their catalog. Eve just sold her catalog for 50 million.
Wow.
And she's on tour. She's gonna be on tour this summer with Nelly. But and then more people come to the forefront to sell their catalog. Like, you know what I mean? It's a rumor out there like that R. Kelly's about to sell his catalog. So
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Jay-Z purchase something from the catalog? And if there's in Grand Rising, everybody over here, Bridget, everybody over here, Hutchie on TikTok. This is the year-end recap. I got my bro over here with me, joining from the morning show, the pop-up show with the Joker. We got a lot coming back this new year, but I thought Jay-Z had purchased some of the rights. And if there's anybody out there that knows if he did, let us know. But I thought he had.
Yeah, I mean, he probably has. Because I know Jay-Z always buying certain things. He's a businessman. So You know what I mean? He might have did, got his hands in a couple of the cookie jars as a businessman. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Mhm.
People like that, people like Shaq, I'd like to congratulate Shaq. He's gonna be
Bro,
it's about to congratulate him. He's about to be a billionaire by May of 2025.
I do
Uh
not know how many
yeah,
businesses he has.
yeah. He's gonna be by, they say they're predicted by May of 2025. Shaquille O'Neal will be a certified billionaire, if he not already is now. So
Wow. I'm going while you are talking about that, I'm going because I just saw this yesterday. How many Shaq businesses? How many businesses? Because it was so he owns Papa John's, he owns Five Guys, 24-hour fitnesses, Krispy Kremes, Big Chicken Shack, Auntie Anne's. There was a something that came out yesterday. So as of June 1st, 155 Five Guys. What does that say to you being an artist, an entrepreneur, just having all of those hats on? Hey, Sharice, we were just talking about you earlier, cuz.
Yeah, yes. It's motivation for me. I always knew like Shaq, a couple of his sit downs, saying that a lot of his he was on Drink Champs, and he was saying that his not just as his people that he hired for probably to run his money, but a lot of his family members and a lot of his close friends and stuff told him to invest. Don't get caught up. Don't be a statistic as the NBA player to be broke in 5 years after you retire. And he just learned how to use his money to invest, and he's a good dude, man. He does a lot of things for the community. He even put up a tweet /X that he loves Josh Allen, and he was like he's gonna take a surprise visit to Buffalo and to go to the hospital and give a donation. He does a lot of things for. He owns some WalMarts too. They forgot to put that in there. He owns a couple of WalMarts. That's why he goes to a lot of the WalMarts and give during the holidays and pay for people's stuff and all that type of stuff. He does that. It's like that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? This is what I do. I like to invest. I like to, you know what I mean, and do things like that myself. So
Yeah.
while I'm building my movement, what I got going on.
He definitely has a blueprint because a lot of people, and a lot of people don't realize that once you are done playing basketball, like that income kind of ends. So you need to have your money in different avenues. And that's where they say to be successful, putting user Caribbean Girl, to be successful, they say what, 7 streams of income you should have at least?
Yeah, at least 7. Yeah, that's right.
Wow. So right now you came home, you're working 2 jobs and you got your painted drip business. That's 3 right there.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up.
And I can tell my people that I mentor, it's I'm doing okay, but at the end of the day, I'm not really seeing profit right now because I put everything back in. But you got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? You can't give up. You got to keep going. You got to keep on designing, bring about. I say I give myself another year before I see profit. As long as I keep doing what I'm doing, because I have a good strategy of what I'm doing. I've been given the sauce for a long time when it comes to like fashion, and merch. And I think a lot of people want the money up front already. So if you have a budget on your marketing of that, then it's possible you can see profit right away. But you got to figure out the marketplace. Sometimes you got to, sometimes you can just get out there. You got to hit the right people and give it out for free. Sometimes.
Yeah, I was surprised, and as I was doing some research on some things this weekend, I was surprised to find out that restaurants normally it takes like 5 to 7 years, 10 sometimes, to even see a profit. And just as an entrepreneur, they say 5 to 7 years to actually see a profit, especially when you are putting the money, reinvesting it back into the business, y'all. So if you are really, really serious about this thing, just know that you may not see a profit, but it's so worth it because you end up getting it on the back end. And that's one of the things that I'm so happy that you talked about early on. And I think that's another reason why we mesh so well, because we understand that we may not see anything right now, but we're definitely going to see it on the back end. And that's what I'm looking forward to on the floor marketing. That's what I'm looking forward to. Pascal, Jessica, Jealous, and the social moi worship. Come on in, come on in. Make sure y'all share this live. This is the year-end recap with Green Links Media. I have my bro Franklin on here. Make sure you check out Painted Drip as well. This show is brought to you by Painted Drip.
Yes. Got a couple of joints I gotta ship out.
Those joints are fire.
I ship out, it's all about, once you know your niche of the people, because people always come to me or inbox me all the time, the hoodies cost too much. Well, they're not made for you then.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also looking at the marketplace I'm at, and I had a good conversation with a couple of people that's been out here in Buffalo for a while, and they was like, you got to look at the marketplace of spending money and understanding the fashion place. Atlanta, Georgia is a fashion place. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed in Atlanta, they don't complain about prices. And if you do find that person that complains about prices, trust me, ask them where they're from. Guaranteed they're not from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't ask about prices. And you have, then it's a balance. And we had this conversation at the barbershop. It's a balance in Atlanta. You have the balance of the people that love the cheap stuff, the bootleg stuff. You have a balance of people that supports and buy the real stuff. My city of Buffalo is 100% bootleg city. I hate to say it. It's the truth. It's the truth.
It be tripping me out how people and will shame you. They man be wearing the bootleg stuff and will try and shame you. Even think as if they wearing Versace, knowing it's really Versace.
You got Gucci on, but it's really Gucci.
Is right. It will try and shame you. Hey, Jay Kelly, thank you so much for liking this live, everybody. Thank you so much. I want to also send out our condolences to the very first president that I remember, being that I was born in the mid 70s, is President Jimmy Carter. And I want to play a little bit of what NBC News said about him this morning. Do you remember? Hey, Pastor T, welcome. Blessings to you. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Go ahead and bless this live, Pastor T, because we turning over some new leaves coming in 2025. We are turning over some new leaves. Hey, country boy Kev.
Boy Kev, and I got his hoodie. You know what I'm saying? I got his hoodie. I got your hoodie, big dog. About to ship it out. He sent me a package too. Before we get into Jimmy Carter, one of my favorite presidents, Country Boy Kev, man, he is an entrepreneur out of Texas. You know what I mean? He owns his own seasoning. He got his own barbecue sauce. He got his own merch, and he is one of the top soulful country soul hip hop artists out of the Southwest as we speak. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely doing his thing, and every time he do a show, he sell out stadiums out there. Yes, he sells out stadiums out there. You know what I'm saying? And believe Miss Arkansas opened up one of his shows doing stand up too. Also, when he did a show in Arkansas.
Welcome, country boy Kev. We are revamping, so we may be reaching out to you. I'm trying to fill up the calendar for January. So starting January 13th, that week of January 13th is going to be the week where we relaunch all of Green Links Media. And on the Vet Green Show on Fridays, we're actually going to have it dedicated to creatives. artists, poetry people. I believe John Jiggs is going to be. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I believe John Jiggs is the first guest that Friday. Country Boy Kev. So I'm going to definitely be reaching out to you because I want to fill those spots out. If you are a creative, I don't care if it's poetry, written word, all of that. Fashion design.
He's definitely that. He's definitely that. His merch is off the chain. I can't wait to get my package in so I can rock his merch. You know what I mean? And try that barbecue sauce and that seasoning and that rub. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know what I'm saying? And because I know you like to cook, so you know,
yes,
you might send an extra one for Vet Green the Queen because she's a cook. She's a chef of our family. Of Green Links, and she cooked for everybody, so she knows.
Yes,
you might have to use some of that season to put on that rub, that rub season on some of that protein. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I'm in here. Listen, I'm on the show. Baby girl helping me out in the kitchen because you know it's a tradition for us to have black eyed peas since ever. It's a tradition. So we got the black eyed peas going. We got the pork roast going. I cheated, y'all. I got some chicken coming from Tops. I said I'm not gonna be in there.
Hey, that Top fried chicken be off the chain while you playing.
Listen. My one son, he loves my pork roast, so I got that going. Baby girl go do the cabbage, and she in there doing the black eyed peas. My other son, he wanted some jambalaya, so we gonna have some of that tonight. So we gonna have a good time. Definitely got the black eyed peas. Thank you so much, Pastor T. I'm gonna have to get you on here as well, Pastor T. I'm gonna be hitting up a lot of people just to the substance. I want good substance for Green Links Media. You know, my bro is on my neck. He like, you got to get out there and rub elbows on him. Hey, Pastor Jelani.
That's right. You know, and that's the things that's gonna be new because I know I do it when I can, but I got to step my game up and do it more also. Because my mentors be on me too. You know what I mean? They be on my neck too. You know what I mean? I set up my man Mr. Will and my Miss Hogan and all that. You know what I'm saying? And Miss Davis and all of them. They always, you know, on my neck say, you got to get out there. You home. We understand the market. You understand the market already. So why don't you go ahead and touch what you can touch then? You know what I mean? You know, and I do, and I know exactly what to do, how to do things, and I got to be more consistent on doing. I'm doing it, but I got to do it more for 2025. And I'm rubbing elbows with good people. We cross networking. We collaborating with a lot of things. Collaborating with Winter Peace and her new merch. Painted Drip gonna be the official designer for her merch coming in 2025, launching in spring. So, you know, I'm gonna have a good time creating and putting things together, getting these influences together, getting these campaigns together. And I'm just happy that I can have the time to create and to invest and to invest into these campaigns. I can't wait to get involved in these campaigns.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you with the green overall, the entire Green Links brand. We're gonna have to get you creating that. I was talking to y'all know one of my favorite clothing lines is from my cousin, Heavy Pressure. So definitely want to get her in that influence box as well, and what she has going on. She got some new things that's gonna be coming down the coming down the pipeline. So right now, everybody, I want to get into, again, our condolences to President Jimmy Carter and his family. He is the longest living president. And I did not know this until this morning. He and his wife also is the longest marriage from a president ever. That I was like 75 years he and his wife were married. 75 years, y'all.
Yeah.
So those of us who out here complaining, talking about you don't get to 75 years without going through some things, okay?
That's a fact.
Roger Kite, Cheryl B, David Threat, Pastor Jelani. You do not get to 75 years without going through some things. So let me go ahead and share my screen and play this. And I'm gonna play a small tribute to President Jimmy Carter and what NBC News had to say about him. So let me go ahead and play this.
Top of the hour, and this morning we're marking a solemn day in American history. Former President Jimmy Carter has died at the age of 100. While his time in office was fleeting, the single term he served from 1977 to 1981 made an impact on the world that was long-lasting. Carter championed humanitarian causes, and he's being remembered as a compassionate, caring man whose efforts to better the lives of Americans, the less fortunate, find his legacy for decades after leaving Washington. From humble beginnings at the family peanut farm in Plains, Georgia, to the Naval Academy, to climbing the political ranks at the state level and making it all the way to the presidency. Carter's unyielding values, steadfast leadership, and down-home disposition led many across the nation and the globe to consider him not only president, but a friend.
I think that what Jimmy Carter is an example of is just simple decency. Simple decency. And I think that's what the rest of the world looks to America for.
And throughout this hour, we'll be thumbing through President Carter's cherished life and legacy as the world remembers a commander-in-chief like no other. Good morning. Thanks for being here. I'm Stephen Romo in for Joe.
I just wanted to play that because he's actually the first president that I remember. I can remember coming home from school during that election and telling my mom about it. Now, I remember telling my mom that she should be voting for Reagan because that's what the teachers told us, vote for Reagan, vote for Reagan. But I do remember that once Reagan got into office, things began to change around my neighborhood and everything. And there's a lot, we're going to get into that on another time. But sticking with President Jimmy Carter, I remember that election. What do you remember about him? Because he seems to be one of the most loved presidents. He was a humanitarian. He was for the people.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he definitely changed the game in the Black community. He didn't have a solid Black agenda. He just did it. And the reason he did it that way, and I remember when he was on 2020 or Oprah show, one of them shows he was on. I remember somebody put this up. One of the podcasts, one of my Black podcasts I watch is that put some of his speeches up saying that he didn't want to put that into his agenda because that would have probably changed things of how things ran back then as far as him being elected as president. So he just said he just added the agenda in there and just did it. It just didn't just put it in there so people could see it. He just did it. And I salute for him for that, and he also, one of the first presidents to make Atlanta Black Hollywood. So, he approved a lot of things in his city where he's from, Atlanta, Georgia. So he definitely did a lot of things for the city, as far as signing the laws for the strip clubs, signing the laws for different entertainment things that was going on in Atlanta. Businesses, opportunities, lowering taxes, all these things for Atlanta. That's why Atlanta is where it's at right now because of Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. I did not realize that he was from Georgia, and his family was into peanuts. They had a peanut farm. So he came from very, very humble beginnings, which probably is another reason why he was able to just relate on a human side of just people in general. It doesn't matter what color you were, that he was able to relate. And then also being in the South, he saw what was being done to Black people. So, Walter said he was one of our best presidents when it came to our civil rights. He allowed a lot of doors to open up for us here in America. Yeah, and there was a peace treaty. And forgive me, everybody. Y'all know I am not a politician. I'm not into that type of stuff. But there's actually a peace treaty that he started with a country, and y'all can do your due diligence and look it up. You can actually look it up on this. They talk about it in here. But it's still into effect. It's still in effect now. All these years later, it's still in effect now. Big Mike said, I was glad we got to do some Habitat of Humanity projects in the 90s. Okay, so was that he? Okay.
Yeah, he Yeah, he brought that program into light. Yeah, Jimmy Carter, yes, he did. Yep,
JD.
yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but I worked when I was in Baker Hall. We did a Habitat for Humanity when they had a big program in Buffalo. I don't know what happened to that, but I know it was real big in the '90s, and especially in the East Side. And we rebuilt so much of them houses and stuff on Genesee. You know what I'm saying? And we volunteered, and but the government paid us to work. You know what I
To
mean?
do
To
it.
do an independent living program, and that's one of the biggest programs that came to the forefront. That was also Jimmy Carter who brought those things to the front for to help young black boys like myself to get an opportunity to get some skills.
Yeah, Habitat. I remember Habitat for Humanity is still around, but doesn't it seem like there was a bigger push for it back then in the 90s? I know people who got homes built and still have their homes because of Habitat for Humanity. So it was a really, really good project still. Hey, bestie, I see you out there. Yeah, they've been around for 39 years. Habitat for Humanity in Buffalo. They're saying it definitely got some people into being homeowners.
Yeah,
Definitely got people into being homeowners.
Being in the placement, I was in the back end. I was getting educated in so much other things that a lot of the people didn't have the opportunity to get involved in. Because back then in public school, they didn't let a lot of things open because of quote unquote a budget. Which at that time, they say it wasn't there, but talking on a back end of things, being in a placement, I was hearing a different language. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't make sense to me. And to this day, I still have these conversations. Now, now we still have a little issue in that area to where they say there's no funding, but it's there, but it's sitting there, but they can't touch it. How? That's my question.
We talked about that money that Buffalo was sitting on, and I still don't know what is going to happen with that money, but I do believe today is the day that they were supposed to have spent that $30+ million. So I may go live later, do a little bit more digging on that. I know I'm going to go live later on to talk about what happened at Marcy. And we can talk a little bit about that because this is the year-end recap, everybody. And I don't know about y'all, but I have family members that have been incarcerated in different prison systems, and some have gotten violated in different prison systems. I had an uncle who was in Attica. My dad was in Attica. So these are not stories that we have not heard, even going as local as the Erie County Holding Center. Some of the things that have been done there, the unlifings that have been done there. So we know that this prison system definitely needs to be reformed, but in no shape or form should anyone be brutalized like this young man was. And I was talking to my auntie about it. Did you see the video?
I've seen the video.
So I'm gonna pull it up, everybody, and I need to say I just want to get over the stuff because this is the highlight of 2024. I want to get over this stuff, any negative stuff, very quickly so we can just finish enjoying it. But I do feel that this is definitely important for us to talk about. So if you need to turn away for a little while, just come on back. But we are about to pull up the video of what happened at Marcy Correctional Facility. Now, I was surprised to find out that there was also, and let me get into my messages because this day so many people sent this video to me. I was like, okay, God, I see what you're saying. I got to talk about it. There's this blue wall of silence. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this blue wall of silence is similar to what we've heard of with the police, and at the end of the day, y'all, I can understand that they are supposed to take care of themselves. Hey, Bam Fam. And a lot of times your coworkers become your work family because you're with them a lot of times and you're supposed to be, it's a family, you protect your family, but some of these people were brutalized. I mean, that things were taken from them. They were great men. Yeah, they were great. All right. So let's go into this one about Robert Brooks. I'm going to bring it up. And again, if you need to turn away, please do, because this is definitely troubling. Definitely troubling. Full video.
You definitely need to be talked about. That's for sure. I've been incarcerated a couple of times, but and also I'm gonna say this too, and I was talking to my son who was incarcerated too, and I told him, I said, when you have integrity and you speaking your mind and your truth, it's possible you might get on life. I mean, this is the what world we in right now, and that's what happened to my wife's best friend. She got murdered from speaking her truth. And I'm gonna always speak my truth. And I told my son, I talk about it all the time with a lot of the family members. Saying I was at my dad's house doing the Bills game. We had a conversation like that. I say, and I'm going to always speak my truth. If I had to get on life, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I'm a stand on what I speak on. So
yeah. So I'm happy that Attorney General Letitia James said release it, and it is my prayers that something really happens. So let me go ahead and play this video.
Being a handcuffed inmate to death. Shocking body camera footage released showing corrections officers beating a handcuffed inmate to death. We want to warn you, the video is graphic. New York's Attorney General shared the video yesterday and called what happened shocking and disturbing. Here's NBC's Sam Brock.
Newly released shocking video shows these correctional officers fatally beating an inmate, Robert Brooks. The footage, blurred and redacted by state authorities, shows officers repeatedly kicking and punching Brooks in the legs and chest and trying to jam an object down his throat. New York's Attorney General says Brooks was pronounced dead December 10th, a day after these interactions with correctional officers was recorded.
I do not take lightly the release of this video.
James says the video doesn't have audio because the officers involved failed to properly activate their body cameras. It begins with Brooks being carried inside, handcuffed and face down. He's then raised up, face bloodied, and punched in various parts of his body. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence for stabbing his girlfriend. The attorney says his death is incomprehensible.
I was there with Mr. Brooks' son and his father and his brother. They all watched the video as well. And I think it was just the overwhelming shock. It was just felt so incomprehensible.
NBC News has not been able to reach attorneys for the 14 people under investigation, but the president for the Correction Officers Benevolent Association adding in a sharply worded statement, the egregious and repugnant action of the officers who committed this heinous and fatal assault does not in any way reflect the values of the vast majority of correction officers, including my members.
Shocking body camera footage released showing corrections.
So let's open up the conversation, bro. As a father of your son, you talked openly about it. When you saw that, what were you thinking? Because as a parent, you're going to worry about your child. What were your thoughts when you just saw that video just now?
It happens all the time. That's the crazy thing about it. This ain't nothing new. I've seen being incarcerated. I've seen this happen in front of my eyes plenty of times being incarcerated. From being locked up down south, to here in New York. And I hear about it and see it all the time. Is anything going to be done about this situation? Oh, we hope so. We hope so. What I feel about it is it's messed up, but it's definitely. I hate to say it, but I'm immune to it because I see it all the time when I was locked up down south. So, it's like And it didn't me being am I fearful? No, I still speak my truth, and I think I tell young black men. You speak your truth. You got to be prepared for those things. I got to be prepared for it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, when I speak my truth, when someone would unlike me. You know what I mean? And I speak freely. And if I go that way, I left standing on something. Like Martin Luther King left standing on something. Malcolm X left standing on something. JFK left standing on something. You know what I mean? And I keep going on and on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got been unlife standing on something, and to me, that's what's up.
You got to talk about it. I want to read some of the comments that we have over here on TikTok, and then I'll go into the ones we have over here on Facebook and YouTube. I also want to bring light to, this is an ongoing issue. Like Big Mike said over here, he also said, if you're not ready to lay down for the truth, keep your mouth closed, and that this has been going on for decades. Now, there's been another incident, and we don't know what happened to this young man. So a man has been injured in state prison and is now brain dead. And the state is investigating. The State Department, you can go on Syracuse.com. Thank you, Auntie, for sending me these articles. So what Syracuse.com is saying, Marcy, New York, the State Department of Corrections and the Community Supervision is investigating an incident at Mid-State Prison in Marcy that left an inmate badly injured. Edward Schultz, 22, was transported from Mid-State Correctional Facility in Marcy to a hospital on December 17th. So this happened December 17th, y'all. That incident happened December 10th. Now, I know you guys are probably like, well, that's Mid-State and that's Marcy. It's still within the same district. You get what I'm saying, bro? It's still within Marcy.
Right,
so
right.
This is ongoing. One is at 900 Old River Road. The other one is at 9005 River Road. Now, the issue is that two of the officers in prior incidents have already been declared like they didn't do anything, as if they did not do anything. And this is so problematic, y'all. And it worries me, because we think, okay, a person does a crime, then you need to do the time. But while you are there, what rights should you have? I don't think anybody should be brutalized like that. I just do not think that that's right. And it happens so often, especially in the 90s. We spoke about this. I can remember when I was a young teenager, young mom, even before I had kids, the guys who would be standing on the corner in my neighborhood getting beat down, like literally getting beat down. And I talked about this one incident where there was a young man, and he wasn't even an adult, and he ended up in a hospital, y'all. He ended up in a hospital, and I talked to his mom a couple of years about this and asked her, well, what happened with that incident? Because I was young at the time, and I was not becoming vet green. Nothing was done. Nothing was done, y'all. Do you see that or hear about that often, bro?
All the time. It's a regular conversation. It's just a lot of people ignore these things. You know what I mean? Nobody talks about them on a regular. And I believe a lot of these things are going to open up in 2025. You know what I mean? From the system of being locked up, the feds to city jailhouses to the medical system. It's going to get worse. It's going to be more talked about. And 2025 is going to be different. In that realm that we're talking, but also 2025 is going to be different on people elevating too. So we got to balance. It's going to balance out. 2025. It's going to balance out. But you should be ready for your mental for this. This is important for y'all. Your mental got to be in a certain state of mind to where you can be all right while you're here and dealing with what's going on in your surrounding areas, your life, your family, and friends, and all that. It's like, like my daughter's in the medical field. You know what I mean? And I had conversations with her, having conversations with her. Like, this medical field going to get crazy.
With your daughter who just got, and that was another episode that we talked about on the Morning Show podcast, how a lot of the healthcare field, like mentally, you have to be in a really good place. You have to make sure you're okay. There was an incident, I believe it was this year, that happened or late last year, where the nurse unlifed herself, dealing with this stuff. And I'm glad you said that. So let me just read what's on Syracuse.com, everybody, because one of the issues is that 2 of the New York prison guards that were involved in the Robert Brooks unlifing are part of a larger beat-up squad, the lawsuit claims. This is being reported by Syracuse.com, everybody. And if you go on there, there's actually a photo of that shows gashes on another inmate's head. There's a picture on Syracuse.com. The inmate's name is Adam Bauer, following an altercation between Bauer and these guards. So just like there was a beat-up squad that beat up the young men in my neighborhood, there's a beat-up squad in the correctional facilities as well. And it's not talked about a lot, Bam Fam. It's not talked about a lot because it's like once they're in jail, they're forgotten about, right, Miss Chili, Valerie Owens? Once they're in jail, they're forgotten about. There was an article that came out about Erie County Correctional Facility. No, it was the holding center where they felt like they were not being treated right. And then you talked about some of the food, that's not even for human consumption. So what are we doing here, y'all? What is going on?
And the critic about it, though, me working in the kitchen when I was incarcerated, is it says right on the box, this should not be eaten by human. It says it right on the box when it comes off the truck. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So right now, Syracuse, and again, I'm reading from Syracuse.com. Syracuse, they're investigating 4 of the 13 guards are under investigation in the unlifing of the inmate. Let's say his name, and it's a shame we have to keep saying his name, Robert Brooks. And our defendants in the lawsuit alleging other cases of abuse against prisoners. Now, a lot of us have family members that have been incarcerated and gotten brutalized, just beat up. Sergeant Glenn Trombley and Corrections Officer Anthony Farina are also among 4 Marcy guards named in a brutality lawsuit filed February 2022 by inmate William Alvarez. So this is an ongoing, man, what Bam Fam said, you better believe it. You better believe it. But what happens, Bam Fam, when they look like us?
And it's going to be this is going to be going on for a while. I think during these next 4 years that we all have to really get involved. That's another thing that I want to talk about. Get involved. A lot of young folks need to get involved in your local areas. Get involved in your city councils. Go up to these meetings. Sign your name in that book. Be there. Have a voice. If not, your kids is not going to get the stuff they need in life if you don't. So we did it. We did it in the 90s, huh? We stood up. That's why, our kids had everything they needed because of we stood up. But soon as 2000, I say between 2007 on up, the transition to what the young kids don't want to get involved. Because when we was coming up, the young folks got involved with the Block Club program. They got involved in speaking their truth and their voice and open up these rec centers and stuff like that, and these programs, summer programs, and everything else. We spoke up on that. It ain't up to us. It ain't up to it, because I see everything that's going on in my city of Buffalo. Every council meeting or every gathering is nothing but the people our age from 48 on up is sitting in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We need at least about 100 to 200 young folks between 18 and 35 to be up in there at every function that goes on in the city if you want them to have a change. If you want to see the East Side change, that's what all the young folks need to be doing.
I agree. I
You know,
agree, bro. We definitely have to affect some change. Bam Fam, I'm glad you said that, Bam Fam. So I was talking to a family member who is familiar with the police equipment and stuff like that, because that was a part of their job. They fitted the cars and all of that. The police cars that you guys see, that's an actual job that people have. They have to get the equipment in the car. And so Bam Fam said, my question is, why was all the security guards' cameras did not have a sound to them? Like the cameras was on standby, but they couldn't hear the sound. So what I was told is that there's different ways. So you can turn the camera on and you can not have the audio on. That one, I'm going to play this because I'm going to play this video again, everybody, because this is coming from one person had the balls or had the courage to not turn their camera off fully, and that is the only
Body camera footage released showing correct.
So if you look at
Shocking
the
body
footage,
camera footage released showing correction. Shared the video yesterday and called what happened shocking and disturbing. Here's NBC's Sam Brock.
this is only from one camera.
Newly released shocking video shows these correctional officers fatally beating an inmate, Robert Brooks. The footage, blurred and redacted by state authorities, shows officers repeatedly kicking and punching Brooks in the legs and chest and trying to jam an object down his throat. New York's Attorney General says Brooks was pronounced dead December 10th, a day after these interactions with correctional officers was recorded.
I do not take lightly the release of this video.
James says the video doesn't have audio because the officers involved failed to properly activate their body cameras. It begins with Brooks being carried inside, handcuffed, and face down. He's then raised up, face bloodied, and punched in various parts of his body. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence for stabbing his girlfriend. His attorney says his death is incomprehensible.
I was there with Mr. Brooks' son and his father and his brother. They all watched the video as well. And I think it was just the overwhelming shock. It was just felt so incomprehensible.
NBC News has not been able to reach attorneys for the 14 people under investigation, but the president for the Correction Officers Benevolent Association, adding in a sharply worded statement, the egregious and repugnant action of the officers who committed this heinous and fatal assault does not in any way reflect the values of the vast majority of.
So I'm going to stop sharing that. That's one of the issues right there. They to me, and I was talking to my aunt, and she pointed out, she was like, there was only one person that kept their video on. That's why we are even able to see all of this, that we are able to see. So Bam Fam, that tells me right there that there's some that's going on in these correctional facilities, and a lot of them are game to it. A lot of them are in it. And I understand that everybody in prison aren't going to be model prisoners. I get that. But at the same time, y'all, when did humanity just not become a thing? We just have no regard for a human person anymore. We have no regard. I don't get it. And I know they deal with a lot. I have family members who are correctional officers, and I know y'all deal with a lot, especially women deal with a lot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I still don't think that this is so unnecessary.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But we're hoping that, people will fight on this, come together on this all across the world, and continue. And the problem with us people, our people, is we're not consistent enough. This is going to continue happening if we're not consistent, especially the young folks. We're going to do what we do in our age bracket, but it's up to y'all. Young folks need to come together. And that's where it's at. As long as y'all don't come together and we come together in our age bracket, nothing's going to be done. It's going to keep happening. It's going to get worse, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Put this in the real. That's a fact.
Listen. So we're going to move on. Well, Cat Williams, hey, Auntie. She said, I'm talking to people about this. Yep, she's the one that was telling me, I'm talking to people about this. Some asked, what did he do? It doesn't matter. No one deserves that. Is that the mentality of people? What is this world coming to? That too. And that's something that I was talking to Auntie about, because I was like, okay, he was incarcerated for unlifing his girlfriend. But does that mean that he should be brutalized like that? And even the nature of how they beat him, does that mean that he should be brutalized? He's still a human life. He's still human, you know. And a lot of times, unfortunately, when it comes to Black and brown people, they focus more on, you know, the negative aspect than this was a human life. A lot of times you'll hear about the negative things. They even tried it with George Floyd, you know, to try and make us say, oh, he deserved that. No one deserves that. No one deserves that. And if you are a parent, like he's still somebody's child, if you are a parent and you see this happening, it is a cause for concern, especially if you have a child incarcerated. You know what I mean? I just cannot imagine what this family is going through right now, because no one deserves that. Bam Fam said they always say that until they get caught on camera, all correctionals are not bad, but most of them are, the majority of them.
That's right. That's right. And even if you have the good ones in there, you're still bad because you're not pushing the issue to change it.
You're allowing it.
Yeah, you know. So you know you just as bad as the one that's corrupted that you're in that same office with. You know what I mean? It is what it is, and I speak my mind freely. You know, when I was incarcerated, I spoke my mind. I told the truth. And you know, and it is what it is. I got locked down for it. But hey, I stand on it, and I stand on it today. And my son is the same way. You know, he's learning from dad. You know, but you got to understand and understand that, you know, yeah, you can get on life standing on your truth. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to sell their soul so they can stay alive more. Like, come on, you know what I mean? But they see things is happening, and then they don't want to say anything. Like, come on, man. Nah.
Auntie said, we had an uncle who told stories. Our family came from Alabama in the 1930s. Have we not learned anything? And we know what they went through back then. A lot of our families right now, if you are living in the North, chances are you're living in the North because your family had to escape this type of persecution down in the South. This was being done all the time. You can be in there for any old thing. You can be innocent, and this was being done. This has been an ongoing thing. Bam Fam Sam is just like when those all 5 Black officers beat the Black dude up on camera, but their cameras was on with the voices. Yeah. Thank God for cameras, y'all. Thank God for cameras. Because without the cameras, a lot of this stuff, imagine if we had cameras in the 90s.
Oh, man. Woo! Yeah.
Bam Fam said whatever it was, he was serving his time. That was uncalled for. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So moving on, Jay-Z and Diddy. Man, Cat Williams opened up Pandora's box, and it's like, man, what is going on here? Has it made you lose faith, bro, at all?
No. I mean, let's be real on the evidence part of things. Like, you know, like the Dame Dad broke it down also. Like, you know, when the mainstream pull things out and they could, you know, they're part of the machine. They're gonna use the same tactics as they use they're promoting the music or the brand or whatever they're doing. When you see it a lot, hear it a lot, you're gonna believe it. But put your third eye on, put your third mental on, and really look at the evidence when it comes to the Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying, and then we know it could be true with Diddy, but there's no evidence on Diddy. See, that's the difference. We all feel to know that he did these things, but now it's time. Now the system got to prove it now. Only proof they got is the video with Cassie. That's it. You know what I mean? And far as the Jay situation, that's straight ludicrous, man. No.
You think so? Some of these allegations out here.
Yeah, and you know, people still coming up Now, now when it comes to like certain, like what's good, another guy, other cases coming up on Jay. I don't, you can pull this up too, that he has another son out there that came up and said that he wanted a DNA test, and that young man looked just like Jay.
Let's talk about it. I'm going to go on Essie's. Yeah, I'm going to. Essie Berry actually had him on, and he does. And in this situation, I want to talk about this for a moment. This is something that I had conversations with some of my friends and family members, because there was a time in our society where young women weren't looked at, like age really wasn't a number, although it was a number. It was nothing for a person 12, a young lady 12 and 13 to be hit on by an older man. It was nothing. And listen, y'all, we're keeping it real. Okay. Especially in the 90s, it was a thing. It was, people were just dating. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you had to grow up very, very quickly. And because of that, because of the environment or whatever, you may be, 12, 13, 14, 15, having relations as if you were an adult, dressing as you were an adult for various reasons. Auntie said those guys are cowards, hope they serve time. For various reasons. So one of the issues with Rahmir is that if the allegations are true and Jay-Z is his dad, that means Jay-Z was with his mom when she was about 15, possibly 16 years old, is leaning more towards 15, and he was an adult. Mm-hmm. Now, because of the climate, a lot of people, he could possibly, that could possibly mean a jail sentence for him, because at the end of the day, it is still statutory rape. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day. All right. Mm-hmm. It's still statutory rape. It's my understanding, and from my research in this, is that he was on board for a while. Like, he was having communications with Rahmir, his godmom. And Essie Berry actually has Rahmir and the godmom on her podcast where they talk about it. And this was during a time right before him and Beyonce got married. Mm-hmm. Well, Beyonce, this was around 2010 to 2011, not got married. Blue was born in 2012. Again, the issue, I guess he was all for, and then it was like, wait a minute, I could go to jail for this. And this kind of makes me look bad. But y'all, this he looks like him. Mm-hmm. Nose and all of that, bro. So tell me, while you're doing that, I'm going to bring up him and Essie Berry. Mm-hmm. And the godmom.
And my thing that got me that he that they said that he said a statement that he refused to do a DNA test. So it's like that gives you the thing, and I'm like, okay, but then it's not looking good now, Jay. Everything else that's going on now, saying like, we, even though ain't no proof, but now it still don't look good though. Like, make this thing make sense. It is what it is. If you got the whole allegations, for an example, if you have allegations that Vet Green the Queen ate a Snickers bar, candy bar, and we going to sit here and everybody gonna say it was a Snickers bar, you know what I mean? And you keep saying it, but but of course Vet Green the Queen ain't gonna say anything. We're going to assume it was a Snickers bar. Mm-hmm. Even though it might be a Kit Kat, but you don't want to say nothing because you want to keep your mouth closed. You feel what I'm saying? I got to bring it in that example so people can understand and understand where I'm coming from when it comes to this Jay-Z case. Not the Diddy, but the Jay-Z situation. Mm-hmm. You got all these, and Cindy with Dame Dash said in his interview, when you're around these people, he said that's why he always moved. You ever noticed that Dave Dash said he moved different? He protected his integrity, which he has. Mm-hmm. Dave Dash was always people thought he was an a-hole, but he had to because he wanted to hold on to his integrity. That's why he's not in these scandals like Jay is, because when you're around these people all the time, even though you might not do anything, you can be caught up very easy in situations.
Yeah. Well, this is on our screen. His name is Ramir Satterwhite, and listen. Hey,
Selling dope, is you like that? Kicking dogs, kicking in dogs, is you like that?
We'll play another one where they actually.
While he publicly started dating Beyonce when she was 8.
I apologize. Often woman out of young holla. I apologize. Often woman took for my
Let me get this one.
That's the song they was talking about. That he
there have been
he
reports
had
claiming
confessed
that he was
about the child.
While he publicly started dating Beyonce when she was 18, there have been reports claiming that he was pursuing Bey, who was much younger. Plus, let's not forget,
we got to talk about that too, y'all.
How he is reportedly the biological father to one Ramir Satterwhite. Apparently, Ramir's mother, Wanda, hooked up with Jay-Z in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in Brooklyn, New York, after Jay first picked her up in Philadelphia. And the story is that they used protection, but it failed. And other than a visit from Jay 2 weeks later, they never saw each other again. And she had no idea how to contact Jay. Ramir claimed he was first told by his mother that she believed Jay-Z was his father when he was around 8 years old. According to Ramir, Jay-Z has been using his wealth and power to avoid taking a paternity test. And he revealed how he was denied a fair hearing in court because of legal mistakes and malpractice. He's even gone for his own lawyers, accusing them of colluding with Jay-Z's legal team to help him get out of taking the test. And while he publicly started dating Beyonce when she was 18, there have been reports claiming that
See?
So everybody, some of these allegations, like I said, listen, I look at Jay-Z. Damn, don't he, auntie? He looks just like him. I'm gonna put it back up here. So y'all, let's discuss, everybody. Let's discuss, because I mean the nose, certain features, like you can look at me and if I'm in a room with my father's side of the family, you can, all of us have similar features. I don't care if you are a cousin 3 times removed. We certain things, it's just your feature. Just like I'm sure with you, look at your granddaughter looking like you know what I mean? Certain things you just cannot get rid of. So what are your thoughts on this? Because I think he looked just like them too. And then
But see, like I said, he looked just like him. He refused the DNA test. His brother's trying to figure out, this is my dad. He said out of his mouth, he don't care about the money. He don't want no money. He don't want nothing from you. He just want to know who his father is, and that's it. If you want to have a relationship, you can. If not, that's cool too. He just want to know. But at the end of the day, this don't look good for you, Jay. Mr. Sean Carter, this don't look good for you, brother. After these things going on with the Diddy situation. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm coming at. See, it's the same thing with Dame Dash saying. Same thing. This not looking good. Like, if you're hearing this and you seeing this and you refusing certain things, that makes you innocent. That makes you know that you suspect. You gotta make sense at the end of the day. Like that's what Dame is saying. He like, it is what it is now. I mean, like the Damien said, I ain't trying to dry snitch. I'm not doing none of this, but I'm seeing the same thing the world is seeing. It is what it is.
Right now, if the allegations are true, he also has a daughter out there who I believe he's now allegedly taking care of her. They said he set her up with a house, and he actually has grandchildren. Like, it's admitted that this is his daughter, allegedly. Her name is Letitia. I started following her on Instagram. But it happens. There's what bothers me, and this is something that my mom told me as a little girl, because I remember growing up and hearing stories about, oh, that's not that person's father, and that person, that's not that person's mom. My mom always told me, I don't care who don't know, as long as that child knows who they belong to, that's what matters. And I see so often, even in my own family, because my father was out there, a Rolling Stone.
Mine was too.
I'm finding family members are finding me through DNA. Do you think it's fair to children not to know who they belong to? Or in this case, if you had somebody, because in the 90s was a wild, wild west. you know, you may have had unprotected X with somebody. If would you deny that child if they said, Franklin Stewart, my mom told me you might be my dad? Is that something that, why deny that?
No, I wouldn't deny it at all. I would like to have a DNA test. I'd like to go forth so for my truth and that young child's truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've had X with some females that I've traveled, and I might have 2 or 3 more kids out there that I don't know about, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But if it comes to the forefront, I'm not gonna sit here and say no. Like, let's go ahead and go through the procedure. Let's go see what's going on, because you know what I mean? And you know, it got to be done. You know what I mean? Some people get fearful because of, oh, I gotta pay back child support, this and that. This is the laws of the land. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? But you know, like you said, the 80s and 90s was wild.
It was crazy.
You know what I mean? And that was part of that wild movement. You know what I mean? You know, and just being in our town, Lackawanna, how the outside used to come in all the time, and we had, like you said, we had 3 or 4 parties a week. You know what I'm saying? That was the culture of Lackawanna. If you watch the movie Lackawanna Blues, that's the culture of Lackawanna.
Listen, it is what it is. I'm gonna I'm gonna share a picture of so Letitia Macer is the alleged daughter of Jay-Z, and I was watching Art of the Dialogue? I was watching a podcast yesterday, and a former associate of Jay-Z was on there. He was one of the ones that I believe funded or helped fund Jay-Z's career, and I cannot remember his name right now, but let me share my screen so you guys can see. I mean, that nose, y'all, just like these cheekbones, all of this is my father, all of this, all of my, like, I remember even at my father's funeral, my brother-in-law, he was like, oh yeah, you know, say, oh yeah, y'all related, because we all, I can pull up a cousin right now, and I promise you, we look like twins. It's so crazy. This nose, let me see. TikTok wants me. Let me pull up this. Hey, Bam Fam, Prince Bam Fam, how are you? It's this nose, y'all.
Yeah, Prince Bam Fam. Yeah, can't wait till we get our track recorded. I'm just about through with them bars.
So this is the alleged daughter. And they say that she's set up. You know, this one ended quickly because allegedly her mom was of age. She might have been like 17, 18. Definitely not as underage as Rymir's mom, but
yeah, there's
that nose again, y'all.
He talked about that in the music, on the music with him and Beanie Siegel and Bleak, when he talked about his, he has a daughter on the way. He talks about that.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? See, people when you write these lyrics, you're telling on yourself. You know what I mean? If you don't want people to know certain things, be careful how your pen moves. Okay.
And that, you know what? It's funny you said that, bro, because but your character is all green. It sure is, Auntie.
Yeah.
You see the last name.
That's right.
It sure is. It's funny that you said that, bro, because his associate brought that up. I guess there's a verse in Ether where he talks about his past. And like you said, he talked about this daughter. So listen, y'all.
The song with all of them together with Emil, it's Benny Siegel, Bleak, Emil, and Jay-Z off of that's the Dynasty album, and he said that on his verse. He said, I got a daughter on the way, you know what I'm saying? You know, he breaks it down like on his verse, like, okay, all right, you know, but after he did that verse, he don't talk about it no more. You didn't hear nothing about that anymore. Because, you know, in that time and space in the industry, you know, they just didn't talk about it. But now, since these windows and these doors open in this industry, you can't ignore those things anymore. So I tell a lot of the artists now, be careful how your pen move unless you're vulnerable like that. And you're honest about your vulnerability like Conway the Machine. who speaks his mind in his lyrics when his pen moves, and he stands on what he writes. That's the type of artist I love. That be honest, vulnerable in his bars, and make it do what it do, and stand on it and talk about it. Yeah. So,
did he do it or did he not? How much did he do? How much did he do?
Like I said, I go right back to what I said before. Like, we all feel the same way. Oh yeah, some people in the industry, people outside the industry. Yeah, he did these things. He did these things, but do we have the proof? No, you don't have the proof. There's no proof. He would not go to jail. He will win this trial, and he's gonna be time served off of the video of Cassie, because his trial gonna go on probably for another year or so. You know what I mean? And he's going to win because there's no proof. But he's going to throw everybody else under the bus. He's been playing this since the 90s. Evil troll. That's an evil troll, Diddy, that you set everybody up all these years. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this live on the show here. You know what I mean? The first person that's going to get knocked off is going to be Aaron Hall from Guy. So
you think so?
Do go down that rabbit hole on Aaron Hall.
I know, son. Aaron Hall, they pulled up an interview that Aaron Hall did on a podcast. I cannot remember the name of the podcast, but they put up in that interview where he talked about Diddy saw him having relations with someone. What's crazy about it is because that goes into some of the allegations, because that person that he said that she's one of the claimants. She's one of the claimants. So there's so much out there. Auntie said sooner or later the truth will come out. He did it. R. Kelly, yes. And then they're saying, okay, R. Kelly and Jay-Z did all of this business together. How did he not know that R. Kelly was into the young women?
Okay, let's get into that now. That's just all this stuff is on Google right now. That the time they was on tour, and you remember that he was scheduled, Jay-Z and R. Kelly was scheduled to come to Buffalo. You remember that? And they canceled the tour.
I remember the tour was canceled
because Jay found out about things he was doing and he didn't want to be a part of it. But they didn't talk about it back then. We thought that they was arguing about something about money. People say it was money. People talk about because he didn't put certain songs that he wanted to perform and he wanted to use his band and R. Kelly had his band. It was all these other little things they were talking about. That was not all this stuff they were saying back then have nothing to do with none of that. It was because Jay found out about he with the little girls and he didn't want to be a part of it, so he just left quietly and never showed up. And then that's when R. Kelly sued him and all that, and he paid it off, and it was that the guy will be bygones. You know what I mean?
I want to play a little bit of what Dame Dash, because I've been watching American News. Now, some people may not like Dame Dash. I respect him on the business standpoint. I do. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he has to say or his way of presenting it to people, but I believe if you take away, just some, I don't know, maybe I'm just, because I dealt with some really strong-minded men, that it doesn't bother me. But if you remove that and just listen to what he's saying, you can really learn a lot from Dame Dash. So I want to play a little bit of what he's saying on his latest episode. American New is the name of the network.
Yes.
I respect the fact that he's out here rebuilding himself again.
Yes,
you know what I mean,
he's
bro?
Doing an amazing job. He's doing an amazing job. Dame
okay. Dash. Like he's out here rebuilding himself again. So big shout out to Dame Dash. I'm not one of the haters. I think that on a personal standpoint, I can, just because Dame Dash is one to kind of blow up, like I
get it.
Yeah.
Back then I didn't. Being in the corporate side of things, of being signed to Sony and Universal, and really being behind things. But I seen a lot of things, I heard a lot of things, but I didn't ever understood of what he was coming with and why did Jay and him broke up. Now I understand. I get it. Because he didn't want to get involved with anything that had to do with the mainstream movement.
Yeah.
He was independent DIYer before it was an independent DIYer, in spite of being part of the machine. He was trying to restructure the machine. He tried to rebuild the machine. They didn't like it, but they let him. They deal with the toleration of him because the money was so good. They looked at the green. And the money was good, so they let a lot of things go, let a lot of things slide. You know what I mean? And these are the things that a lot of us independent artists to this day is doing, letting a lot of things slide because you do want to be independent or a DIYer, but you still want to put your foot in that little mud over there just to get a little something moving. I get it too. You know what I mean? I get it. But it's how you do it. You know what I mean? And that's the part where people is not really sitting down and figuring out. Some people's figuring it out. Like the Benny Butcher, he figured it out. You know what I mean? And it's working for him. But everybody's not Benny the Butcher. See what I'm saying?
Big shout out to all of those guys over there.
In the West Side Guns of the Country, they're doing it in their own way, and it laid out to them like way to where they can still be doing two things and be okay. But everybody can't do that. Everybody don't have that opportunity. You see, but you have to figure it out.
I'm going to play two parts from Damon Dash. He has another one that I wanted. This goes into talking about an artist. So let me just go ahead and play this, and then we can discuss.
If anybody ever fucked your money up the way certain people have fucked mine up on purpose without any explanation, I think that you would be a little upset as well because this fucks with my family's money.
That's right.
This fucks with my children's money.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have to start from scratch.
Right.
And it is what it is. And if y'all feel good about the fact that somebody actually did that and that makes you feel better than me on any kind of level, that's good for you. But don't think that I'm not going to flip these brand new companies from scratch and I'm going to be on the way I want to. Because what happens when you're a billionaire because of corporate, what I think that they have shown is that corporate could also make you not a billionaire in the snap of a finger.
Just like that.
Right.
So if your
numbers are up because pause that for me.
Corporate.
Yep, go ahead, bro.
Oh man, these are the things that I've been talking about the whole time I've been doing podcasting radio. And a lot of time I've been doing my marketing classes, mentoring a lot of artists, you know what I mean? And I've been telling y'all, I've been in part of that machine. See, I'm not going to say anything that I have not been through. I was signed to Sony. I was signed to Universal, once upon a time. It made Man Records, okay? And when you're in that level of a millionaire, a certain number, you can't do what you want to do. Jay is a billionaire. You can't do what you want to do with that money. It's like me coming back. It's like me being back a child again when I used to get allowance. Okay, yeah, my dad and my mom gave me that money for allowance, but I couldn't spend that money on anything I want. I had to still ask permission, right? When you gave your kid $100 for Christmas, you gonna ask what you're gonna do with that money. You're gonna ask those questions. No, you're not gonna buy $100 worth of candy. What? That's the same thing as a billionaire. When you reach a certain number, you can't do what you want to do with that money. You're not free.
And a lot of people think that they are. A lot of people think that they are.
Right. You're not. You know what I mean? So do you really want to be wealthy? Do you really want to be in the corporate world, billionaire? You want to be in that, for example, Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook, almost a trillionaire. Why do you think that money's still sitting there? Because he still want to invest in things. You got to get permission. He want to buy the Cowboys from Jim Jones from the Cowboys. He want to buy the Cowboys. He got a proposal down already. Okay, Jim could say okay, but you still got to get permission from the corporate world. Is it okay? Because they don't want no monopoly. Understand me? You still got to go through some loopholes, and you still got to go through some rough edges. This is the way it is. You can have this money, but you can't do what you want with it.
Yeah, he talks about that, and I'm going to go ahead and finish playing this because
Go ahead.
I love that you have taught this on the morning show podcast, the pop-up show with the Joker podcast, and all of that. Damon Dash continues to, I mean, he gets a lot of flack because of it, because again, I think sometimes it's his delivery. Some people can't take the abrasiveness in his delivery, but it's all, if you can look at it as abrasiveness or passion, everybody.
Right.
You can look at it both ways.
It's definitely passion.
You could actually say, I'm not funding your shit anymore. You no longer have a deal. And that guaranteed volume of money that you were getting, you no longer get. And now you're not a billionaire. And I don't want to be in that position that if somebody makes an accusation about me, that they could turn my lights off. Because people, when you're famous and you're a celebrity, especially if you're talking about you got money, you become a target.
That's right.
And again, I'm not going to sit here and defend Homeboy or say none of that shit. I don't know if he did it or not. I'm not getting involved in that. But I do know it does look like he's being targeted.
Yeah.
We can stop. I'll stop sharing that one. There's another one that I wanted to play. This is why it is difficult or challenging for me to even talk about these things, because at the same time, we are in the entertainment business and we are built in this business. We are built in Greenlinks Media. You got Painted Drip, all of that. The Joker, even on the artist side, these are cautionary tales I'm looking at. Like, this is really a cautionary tale of what you can expect. And if you go into some of the other videos that Dame Dash, he actually talks about that. Like, man, I'm glad that I got this far, because
that's right.
Man, this is what's at the top. Like, it's
and even West Side Gun, a couple of interviews had talked about a lot of people in the mainstream industry hate West Side Gun because why? Because he can move how he moves, and they can't. They got more money than him, but he's in a different bracket with his money than their bracket and the money, and he can move. He can still move as an independent DIY artist in the wrestling, in the merch, in the music. He can move a little bit different, and they don't like that because why? They can't move like that. They can't get up and go like that. You know, they just can't get up and go on a plane, on a private plane, and do something, even though they got the money.
What we also saw this year, everybody, is a lot of these people that we look up to. I want to play another segment that Dame Dash said as artists, because if we're being honest, a lot of times when you're an artist, the money is being funded from wherever. Okay. And what we've seen, if the allegations are true about Diddy, about Jay-Z, and even as far as Lil Durk and Young Thug being in the, it seems if you are going to be in the streets, just know, like Dame Dash said here, that they are watching you. So let me go ahead and play this, and then we can talk about this, because this seems to have been the downfall, because it's just like a drug is a drug. I've been told that the streets is one of the strongest drugs for a lot of people still out in the streets. Right. So let me go ahead and play this.
But this is something that everybody needs to understand and understand when you want to get to that level. You know what I mean? You want, what type of artist you want to be? That's the first question I ask when somebody come to me and ask me, can you be my manager? And I ask them, what type of artist you want to be? What level? You want to be corporate? You want to be independent, or you want to be DIY? So them the levels. Which one you want? You want to be Nicki Minaj level? You want to be Griselda level? Or you want to be Tech Nine level? You know what I mean? You know,
and what comes with it.
Yeah, you know. So then when they say they want to be the Nicki Minaj level, then I was like, well, doing that. This I tell a lot of artists, you got to start from scratch. You got to start from the bottom up, because now you can't do all the things you're doing right now. If you want to get the Nicki Minaj level, you can't do what you was doing. You got to change up on how you record, how you say things on the record, how it's mixed and mastered, your image. You know what I mean? Your different poses you use in your pictures. I mean, everything got to change. You got to start from scratch. if you want to go to that level. You can't keep doing what you're doing because you're moving like an independent artist / DIY right now. You know? So, yeah.
Let me go ahead and play this.
So, like, I know when I had certain artists and I saw them and heard them, like the first thing I tell anybody that might look like they're still in the street is, if you're next to me, you're hot. You cannot talk about anything you're doing in the street. And I wonder, is Todd going to give that kind of support? If he has to go, because I really don't know what's going on. And I just wish that it would stop, but I just hate that they benefit so much from it. That if you look at where the money's coming from to fund certain things when it actually happens, it's from the record sale. All the problems that are happening is because you're putting someone from the street in front of a camera, and that person may disrespect someone from the street. They get in front of a camera and they react like they're not in front of a camera. Mm-hmm. They're going with their instincts based on where they grew up and their environment. Mm-hmm. So, like, I know what.
That's right.
That's
right. That's right.
I put a post up because I saw this happen a lot. And even in my own life, it's like sometimes you have to, depending on where you want to go with what it is that you're building, you really have to let some things die off of you. So I know LaQuisha is somebody that LaQuisha want to take it to the streets. Mm-hmm. You know, LaQuisha is the one from the projects that do project, you know, got that project mentality that just, it is what it is. But I can't have LaQuisha running Green Links Media.
Like I said, the 92, 93 Franklin can't run the marketing business and be behind Green Links Media, do paint and drip, none of that. The 95, 96, the 98 might have a position. You know what I mean? But anything after that, nah, bro.
Gotta let it go.
Yeah,
you gotta let it go.
You can't even sit at the table right now. You know what I mean? So, but you know, let me say this too. You can be a DIY or independent on anything you're doing and still have a mentality as a corporate mentality to be professional as you're moving as a DIYer and still be a DIYer, which is do it yourself independently, but still, because you still want that door to be cracked open for corporate to peek in and say, you know, when they start asking you questions and send you emails, when they start knocking at your door, ringing your phone, like I've been getting my phone and my email knocked at the door for almost 6 years now. You know what I mean? Because they see what I'm doing, they want me to be a part of something, and I'm like, you know, then I tell them what you got, throw it on the table, then I give them what I want. Then they're like, I don't know, Mr. Stewart, we don't do that, but we do this. I'm like, well, I can't do business with you. You know what I mean? But they still have a check sitting there with the contract. Like I said before, I still have 3 contracts from record labels that's still in my briefcase to this day that I haven't even signed and nothing. And still got the check. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely gotta, I would tell anybody, just know what you're getting into. If I were to sum up my entire 2024 as it relates to the people in the entertainment business and the people that I looked up to, is that it is definitely a cautionary tale. Mm-hmm. And that, listen, if you are not going in with your full armor of the Most High, then you need to make sure you listen. When you check your bag, make sure that is not in the bag. It should be with you at all times. That's right. I hate that we have to look at like, I don't want this to have ruined anybody's legacy, whatever that is. No. You know, and it's so unfortunate that this is happening. But there's something else that Dame Dash said, that if the gatekeepers were dirty and are now being taken down, do you feel that now will make room for the regular DIYers, the independent artists, the creatives out there who have not been able to get a break because there really are gatekeepers out here? There's people that can stop you from doing what it is, even if you're good. Even if you're good.
I know the gatekeepers in the industry, you know, I'm glad they were gatekeepers. Because it kept people like me out of it. You know what I mean? Me not knowing no better. So I like to thank the gatekeepers, really. You know, but as far as being an independent gatekeeper, you're protecting your brand. I'm protecting. Right now, like if I got information, for an example, I got information from Vet Green, the Queen, that gave me information as we build it together. You know what I mean? And somebody else come and want that same information, and then I'm seeing what they're doing, and they're kind of corrupt. I'm not giving them that information. Because guess what? My name is on it, and it's going to make Vet Green look bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want no bad business relationship with Vet Green the Queen. I'm not want a bad business relationship with Prince Killer. I don't want a bad business relationship with the Even Rush Network. I want them doors will always be open because I was good from day one. You know what I mean? I can go to E Digger anytime I want to and say, yo, E Dig, I got this on the table, this is what I'm gonna do. He's gonna say yeah, because we have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to burn a bridge on anything because somebody else wants that information, but they kind of corrupt what they do, and I already down the rabbit hole and I already know about it, even though Vet Green the Queen don't see it or hear it. I'm not going to give them that info. I got to gatekeep right there. Because I got to protect my name, my brand, and I got to protect my sister and anybody else who she's affiliated with.
And he talk, it's funny that you said that because Dame Dash actually talks about that. How do you, like in this business, there, man, even on the level that Joker and I are on, there are some corrupt people who will try and drag your name through the mud.
Mm-hmm.
How do you separate those two and be like, like now I'm at a point where it's like, I don't want to do business with anybody who's going to be messy. Like, I just don't want to.
That's
I respect that, that Dame Dash said he knew the type of people that Jay-Z was getting into bed with, and it just wasn't his cup of tea. And that is his prerogative. But on the flip side, you also have to, and this is me saying this to myself, Toria, woman of grace. On the flip side, you cannot get to a very, very high level without playing in the dirt. You just can't. And that is what I've seen as far as Diddy and Jay-Z, Lil Durk, Young Thug.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to continue to play in the dirt though.
That's right. That's right. Me, you see me in action, things that, happened in the past prior to the radio station and all that. I nip it in the bud off in the beginning. As soon as I see it, I got to hold up, pause, time out, put a commercial on. I got to nip it in the bud because if you let certain things ride, you will be caught up in something that don't make no sense to you. You wasn't there. You didn't see nothing. But all of a sudden, your name is getting brought up in all types of other nonsense that don't even make sense to you, and you weren't even there. You have to nip things in the bud to save your brand and save what you're doing, even locally. You know what I mean? I separate. You know how I separate? Things that I do for my painted drip, starting with the painted drip is the bait right now. It used to be the music. Now it's the merch. It's the bait right now that's connected to the music and connected to everything that I got going on. Is I got quality merch, right? And it's $100 a hoodie. I already separated 80% of Buffalo just doing that.
Because of the price.
Because of the price. And I'm going to say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say it. And I'm talking to probably 85% of the people because y'all, number one, y'all don't understand fashion. And number two, you can't afford it. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And some people unfortunately, it's me again. Some people would rather not give it to you just because of who you are.
Right.
Which is 2025. We not doing that. We
you know what? I'm cool with that. I respect that to the fullest.
Hey,
you know what I mean? I really do. I respect to the fullest. I don't care about the price of anybody that's doing something positive and having a brand. Guess what I do? I might have to save up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did with the 14 Mafia hat. That was a $75 hat. I had to put $25 up every week to save to get that hat.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you working, you want that or you want a real Michael Kors bag, you gonna have to put $150 up, save for probably 7-8 paychecks to get that Michael Kors bag. While your next door neighbor would go to a Muhammad store on the corner and get it for $90 and say it's real.
Yeah. And don't think just because this my bro that I'm gonna be looking for a discount like that. No, what did we say this morning?
Yeah.
No, we not doing that. We gonna make sure you get paid your worth. You know what I mean? You get paid your worth. And I'm shipping these doggone hoodies to Chicago. It's gonna be in Brooklyn. You know, Big Mike got his. We gonna make it work. We are gonna make it work because I realized in 2024 that when you have somebody who's really, really going to support you and be there for you, those are the people that you should be nurturing. Those are the relationships that you should be nurturing. So I know my bro got my back. I could not be on Facebook, Instagram, all of that for days, but my bro still sharing stuff, still supporting Green Links Media. Same thing with Big Mike still, you know, so those are your people.
That's right. That's right.
You know, and listen, 2025 about to be a new time. Lillian Jeffers, hey, Deron Williams, Lil Zay. We are looking for artists, creatives, all of that. All of that.
And these are the things that need to be talked about. And I'm cool what's going on. You know, and just by doing simple things like I'm doing, I separate myself. And now I'm not in people's conversation in their lane because I'm different. Now they you know, they might not buy it right now, but I give it a good year. I give it another 2 years. Half of them go trying to see if they can get one. That's just the way it is. That's the marketplace. When you see it more, you want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, and that's why anybody that have a price, I never ever talk down. Oh, that
try and lowball them.
No, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's how much I did. Okay, I got to be back for that one then, but that's fire. But I got my eye on it though.
Yeah, that's because you're thinking. You're not thinking as a consumer. You're thinking like a boss.
Right. You
Business
know,
people won't try and do that.
And then I'm also training artists to have. Don't worry about if those who don't have it. Just think about what you're worth, your brand, and the quality. That's why me and Winter Peace have these meetings, and Paint the Drip is going to be the official designer for her merch. You know, because she see what I'm doing. As her being an ambassador and influencer of my merch, you know what I'm saying? This is her hoodie right here. You know, now she sees she want to be a part of the movement of what I got going on because she see the vision of what I'm trying to do here. You know what I mean? And she want to be a part of it. Yeah. You know,
Andy Jones, Energy, Kim Woods. So I know I got some more cooking to do, and I know I don't want to hold you too long because I know you got some work that you got to do as well. Yeah. So what do you want to end this with, bro?
Yeah, you know, in 2025, you know what I mean. Bring value to your brand as if you're a cook, if you're a clothes designer, you're a barbershop, whatever you got going on, bring value to your work because you work a lot more than what you're doing. If you know that you can cut hair and you're the amazing cutter, you can do what it do. You know what I mean? And you know that other barbershops is charging $30 to $40 a cut. Stop charging people $25. Everybody can't get that. You know what I mean? And then, you know, it's just like everybody can't go. You know what I mean? Everybody can't get those things. Bring value to it. And I know what I'm worth. So, you know, and you know, we know we work. I know Green Link is worth. You know what I mean? You know, we work beyond of what people think we is because why? We on here and we in the inner city. Well, I mean, make it make sense. No, we are here to uplift the brand, and you should do the same. Anybody that wants to, my marketing coach, marketing class is still available. You know what I mean? I have a special going on for $175 full-fledged marketing class. For those who want to take it, want him in the inbox. I don't market and push as much, but because I know a lot of people is not serious. And I noticed last year about this time I said a lot of people is going to throw in the towel. What happened?
A lot of people threw in the towel.
A lot of people threw in the towel, man. And it's sad, you know, and I knew it. And then 2025, more people gonna throw in the towel. You know what I mean? It's not an artist out of Buffalo is not gonna be where it was this past year, the year before. It's not gonna be the same. It's gonna be very hard to see an artist in Buffalo actually take it to the next level because everybody's throwing in the towel. Because why? It takes work, sacrifice, and you gotta have the passion. You gotta have the love for it first.
Oh, that's so true. How many? So who artists who should be and they don't necessarily have to be in Buffalo if they are artists that you're listening to right now, aside from your own work. Who are you listening to right now? We should be listening to.
Oh man, you know I've been listening to which one? You independent or industry?
Both. You can do both.
I've been on my Jelly Roll. I've been on my
okay, still Jelly Roll. Okay.
Jelly Roll. Of course, my brother from Texas. You know what I'm saying? Country Kev.
Okay.
He's got a new single that's crazy. I like that. Me hear that joint. It's gonna be crazy. Him. I've been listening to some Word to Peace new joint. She ain't released it yet, but I got a copy of it. I've been listening to that. Prince Killer been on my radar for a while. Been unraveled with Prince Killer, and I've been listening to a lot of old artists that's been independent. That's my brother that I was in the group with back in the day when we signed to a label. 4-4 Water. I've been listening to his old music too. 4-4 Water out in South Carolina. He retired the mic, but I just was reminiscing this past week listening to his music, going down the rabbit hole on YouTube and all that, and watching his videos and all that. So y'all put in 4-4 Water on YouTube. You see all his videos.
You know I am.
Couple videos I was on. You know that song called Bow Down. Yeah, you got go ahead and watch that video. I'm in that video. I'm in that music video. Me and him was in the group together. We were signed to Sony Universal. Me, him, and his cousin A Tweezy. We was the 85 South Click. We was one of the hottest hip hop groups coming out of South Carolina, and I was the only one from Buffalo in the group. So we definitely went farther than we know. Could have went farther, but when you want to be part of the machine, I just couldn't deal with a lot of things. But shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. I've been listening to his music. That's been on my playlist for past about 4 weeks. Yeah,
I've been listening to a lot of independent music, definitely some mainstream. Some of the females out here, Coco Jones is one. I've been loving her music. Talking mainstream. There's another artist. Oh, is it Kalani? What is the name of this song? Oh my God. Hang on. What is the name of the song? It is called, I think it's Kalani. But the song, Money Long, Ruined Me. Oh my God, that song. There's a lot of R&B music I've been listening to. Started going down a rabbit hole of Amber Simone. I don't know if she signed with what the story is with Benny and them, but she's dope.
I think I did see something that she's the first R&B artist signed to Benny. Yeah, I think I seen that like maybe a couple months ago. She posted it up. But yeah, she's an amazing singer. I first heard her from her manager when I was in the barber shop maybe like 5 years ago. And she had a single out and then was off the chain. And now I was like, okay, this sister is definitely doing her thing. And then when she did a collaboration with Conway, have a song about his mom, that was sweet. And she sung on that track. But yeah, another artist from the hometown who's actually putting in that work, knowing the game, figuring it out. Those are the type of artists that I love, and I one of the ones I support. Especially out the city, those who's actually sacrificing everything they're trying to do to stay, but still be on the DIY side and learn the business on top of keeping their craft tight.
Yeah, big shout out. Some people that I see continuously working. Prince Killer continuously working. Winter Peace. We can't say. I mean, Winter Peace she's been doing her thing. She's continuously working. I see her out there continuously working. There was just a rap battle that I did not realize was going on. Boogie Blue. She has her own thing. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Star 4. Oh, love Star 4. Cannot wait for Star 4.
Yeah, definitely. She's one of the first female that is off the chain on the engineering, recording, mixing and mastering. Got to give the queen her flowers, man, because you got some females out here who's mixing and mastering tracks. You know what I mean? Don't you look for somebody that mix and master your track? Star 4. That's where it's at.
What other Ali Black? I hope that Ali Black. He's so talented. Ali Black, you know how we feel about you here at Green Links Media.
Oh yeah.
Listen, just do your thing. Don't worry about. Don't get caught up in this mess in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in it.
Don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Too talented.
When you separate yourself is when you raise your price. That's when you separate yourself. And just doing it with the merch. I'm out of certain people's lanes, but I'm on their radar. So you know what I'm saying. So that's a good thing. Being Prince Killer track, we're gonna blast that off in 2025. We finally going to release the Bars Banger and the Joker album 2025. It's a lot of things gonna come up in 2020. We had to back things up a little bit because we everybody's lifing. We all
are. We had a lot of loss this year. A lot of loss this year. But we gained some things, gained a lot of experience. If I am to end this live with anything of substance, I will say, y'all get out your own way and don't get into any mess, because what I realized about myself is that it is so easy to get caught up in all the negativity and all the mess. And if you get caught up in that stuff, chances are you can end up in jail. And if you really, really, really about your business, you don't want to end up there. So leave the mess to the lessers. That's what I'm going to call them, the lessers, because some people thrive on that. And because you are out here doing something great, working towards your greatness, everybody's not going to like that. And because of just that, some people, just like in jail, they say in jail, you don't tell anybody when your release date is, because listen, move in silence, y'all. Don't worry about what everybody else has going on, and do not let the negativity consume you and stop you from doing what it is that you have been placed on this beautiful earth to do, because there's some haters out here. There's people who will love to see you quit and will bring your name, will bring your name down because they want to force you to quit. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And a lot of people threw the towel in 2024. They let the people get to them. The mental health, of course. Mental health is important. If it is got to do with mental health, that's your decision. That's cool. But use it to be your therapist for your mental health too. You know what I mean? Where I don't worry about what people think of me or how I do things, my prices, or the music, the back. Ain't none of that. You know what I mean? But I still elevate what I do, and I capitalize on anything that I got going on. You know what I mean?
Say don't worry about the prices. All right. Know your worth too.
Yeah. So and that's the thing, and that's why I move how I move. People always asking those questions: how you move, how you moving? You know what I mean? Because number one, I know my audience. I know who I'm talking to. I know how to use my influences. I know how to take an L and still win. So
I was trying to leave. I wanted to play a couple of songs before we left out. One was the B2B, but we have the audio, but not the video in this one. You want me to play the audio?
Yeah, you play the audio.
Okay. Go ahead and introduce the song, bro.
Which one? You want to do the Buffalo to Brooklyn?
Buffalo to Brooklyn.
Buffalo to Brooklyn. You go ahead and play that one. Buffalo to Brooklyn, which is I just got a notification before I go for Buffalo to Brooklyn. Shout out to the Boom Bap Supreme he's playing starting tonight. I think tonight or tomorrow on his radio show. He's playing the top 100 Boom Bap songs of 2024. He has Buffalo to Brooklyn at number 24.
Ooh, that's what's up. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, we're going to leave out on this Buffalo to Brooklyn. Y'all have a wonderful New Year's. I may go live a little bit later. I am cooking. Big shout out to everybody. Again, if you are creative, an artist, anything like that, contact us. Fridays are going to be dedicated to the artist spotlight. We're going to have a Friday 7 p.m. show every Friday, starting the week of January 13th. I'm bringing in, listen, Capricorn season has started. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, he said new Prince Killer, Odds Against Me collaboration album featuring Skrilla, Santana, Star 4, Cap 716. Big shout out to Cap 716. And many more. Stay tuned. 2025.
Yes.
That's what's up. Let me go ahead and play this Buffalo to Brooklyn.
They really feel me, I ain't keeping in touch. When they down low, hating, don't be peeping in much.
That's why I'm on the low when I'm getting this dough. Just like Uncle Luke when they peeping the show.
Even the roads in concrete be forced to grow. That ground you be under if you forced to low.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6 be slick just like CeeLo. Chest so big to grind like Rambo.
First blood is spilled, tension is built. Every sentence, every bar, every mention is killed.
I'm caught the party, sipping on Bacardi. You lying in your rhymes, I'm lying like Ed Hardy.
Bugatti skirt, 0 to 60. If I stop to think or blink, you might miss me.
Mach 10 to win, smile just grin. Blessing my mess, somehow I still sin. Crooks off the book, you shook like vibrators. We driving around, we hot like radiators.
Yeah, tailgaters, kill haters, snipe shot. Dutch clear, nothing left but night.
Gang shots, 5 hits, real quick. Changed up the ski mask and outfit.
Night dark, we lit, Edison. Sit and yak while Joker smoke the medicine.
That's why they call me the high joke. You like the match without no smoke.
Mike Jordan, game 6, I won't choke. They complain about you, but won't vote.
This the realest shit that I wrote. You cats not hard, you soft like egg yolk, Paul.
Cause, give me a round of applause. Don't come around here unless you come with bars. Bang.
Y'all have a wonderful happy holiday. We hope you enjoyed the show. This is a Greenleafs Media production, and we thank you for watching. We are here every Monday through Friday, beginning at 9 a.m. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell while you're at it.